Welcome back. It's been a little while since my last video. Been busy non-gold prospecting stuff. But as you saw in the thumbnail, I've also been busy trying to recreate or invent a new style pan. I had a viewer reach out to me. His name's Paul. He lives in Vermont. He wanted me to design a pan that has a removable mat in it. His original sketches were, some round pans with mats. But I quickly found that it was going to create pinch points being round. The only way to get rid of those pinch points is to pull the mat outside of the pan, but then it turns into a banjo pan, and I'm not out there to copy other people. If I'm going to do something, it's going to be totally creative and new, which this is, you'll see. But it's been about a month now of quick testing. Originally, I wasn't even going to show any of these videos. They were more for me, for playback, and to show Paul the progress I was making, especially on the first video clip you're going to see. So this may be a little jumpy, but I got a first vision video clip. I can show a little of that just to show you the progress. And then on the second clip, I was able to go up to Vermont to meet Paul, but also I reached out to Scott from 802 Outdoor Adventures and Jim from Northeast Expanse. I wanted their input. I wanted them to try it, what they like, what they don't like. We pretty much all agree it needs to be bigger. Right now I am limited on the print size of just under 12 inches. Originally it's modeled as a 15-inch, but for me to do the 15, it'll be multiple pieces, dowel pinned together and glued. So until I lock down the final shape, I don't want to waste time doing that. So most of these pans are under 12 inches just for quick testing, just to keep that in mind. But unfortunately in that video clip, Scott and Jim, when you hang out with those guys, it turns into such a fun day. You actually forget that you need to film and do stuff. So what originally was going to be a full-length video clip and maybe, just by alone, I just took little snippets of it to put together. So Jim and Scott aren't in there, but they may be in some future ones, as this is an ongoing progress. But talking with Paul, we decided to get a couple of videos together to show what I'm doing, but also to get some feedback. I'm always open for suggestions, what you like, what you don't like, and then just go from there. And then if he wants, he can patent this or sell it to a vendor. Who knows? All I know is a gold pan hasn't really been changed for almost 200 years. There's been a few iterations, like I said, the banjo pan, a couple other square pans, and it's more of they don't really catch on. It's just too awkward. It just doesn't work as efficient as a pan. So I have my work cut out for me. I got to make something that is better than the round pan, and I'm gonna try. So watch these clips. I'll get set up, and then you'll see when you come back. You'll see my revision 3. That's how far I've gotten so far. So enjoy the clips. Is this the perfect pan? Let's test it. You see, one shovelful. Now originally I was thinking stratify it and then go like this to get it out. I'm already seeing that these riffles are a little too aggressive, but it's actually comfortable just to spin the pan around and use it like a normal pan. Make sure you're on view. Just get all the bigger rocks out, material out. Now, once you get it down to this level, my original thought process, dip it back and then pour it out. But as you see, almost all the water leaves before the material even moves. So this is where it's going to get tricky. This mat has to work in both directions, but if you do this and just pulsate it, see how the material is coming through the sluice now? It's going back and forth. So that the shape of this is very critical. And then you can see it's got some smaller features to get that get underneath it. Wow, I can't believe how tight that is. Definitely gonna have to work on that. But yeah, then you would fill that with water, empty out your little sluice mat, and now you got to be real delicate and work the pieces out. So here's two examples. This is like a revision 2. The first revision was pretty close, but what I ended up doing is adding more angles to this, and you'll see why in a second. But this is a long way from complete. This is the first full day testing, and just to show you, we are getting gold. It's catching some small stuff in there. There's probably like 6 pieces in here, but we're just trying to find a real good pocket, which we haven't found yet. But basically, just to show, I'm calling this the pulse pan for right now. Paul's pulse pan. I put his name on it because it was his idea. Get a little classifier. But it's easier to just show you how this works versus trying to explain it. All right, hopefully this is a good view for you. Had to move over because the water is getting a little muddy. But I just classified the material in, or a couple shovelfuls in. Shake it around. The classifier. And because the material is a little bigger, I want to get a lot of the stuff that's not gold out. So I'm going to just pulse it like a regular pan. Always shaking it because it's tapered, the gold's got to work down to the bottom. Alright, and flip it around. And fill, pour. Fill, pour. Shake. And it should work back and forth in the mats, agitating it, keeping the gold trapped and the heavies working out. And then when you get down to a point where you want to start getting a little more fine tuning with the material, get it out of the mat. The mat comes out. Empty it out. There's the mat. And then it's got lighter, finer riffles to work this out. Just got to be a little more delicate. This is the theory. It's going to change a lot, like I said. I already got a lot of ideas I want to add to this now that I'm fully got a day on the river testing this. So what you think? If you notice on the second video clip, it worked good until it got down to the heavies, and then it was a little slow getting the material out, which I didn't like. So I made some changes, and I'll show you those right now. Got a little buffet of pans. Like I said, originally he wanted to do a round pan with a mat inside, but when you do that, you create all these pinch points, which I'd have to angle the hell out of the pan, and it makes it so it's pointless to be round. But I happen to have one of my swash boxes nearby, and then I put that in, and I'm like, notice the angles, it'll actually work better as more of a square shape, which came out more like this. I also happen to have a room next to where I model stuff, and I'm painting right now, so I had a paint pan, so that may look a little like a paint pan. And one thing I like to do is you can look at a model all day long and it looks great, but I like to print out just a little mini version, just enough to hold in my hands and see, like, all right, do I need to improve anything? How does this actually look in person? And a lot of times I see little mistakes that I catch now when it only takes a few hours to print versus something that takes 24 hours to print. So just a little tip: scale down. Always scale down. I don't know why people always try to go full size all the time. You can pretty much everything's scalable. Just start small. It's cheaper. You can get a good vision of what it's supposed to be, look like, and do, and then if you feel comfortable with it, then you go a little bigger. Like I said, this is under 12 because of the printer size. I believe this is like 11 by 9.5, which I ended up going a little bigger. But on the first pan, because of this taper, I was having issues with material just not wanting to flow out of here right. Now, you guys, when we use pans like this, one problem I don't like, and we all run into this, as you get down to the heavies, say this is a piece of black sand, this is a piece of gold, and you're shaking it, they just bounce next to each other. And then it's a pain to remove that gold. And you've seen it when you get down to the black sand, all the gold's being pushed on the outside, so you got to get it back in there so it doesn't lose out of the pan. So that is one of the downsides of having a flat bottom pan. So I've taken it to the next level. I don't have a version of the second pan. I let Paul keep those. But what I did is, you can actually see on this one too, I went extreme on the angles. I'm basically creating a pinch point. So that gold, instead of bumping side by side with the black sand, the gold is heavier, so it's going to want to win and go down deeper. So the more you shake this, especially if you're inexperienced, the better it's going to be. The gold's going to want to sink right to this pinch point, and then it's going to get buried with all the heavy stuff, which you can get out, more aggressively without losing. Where a pan, if you're a little too aggressive, you're going to knock that gold out. So the pinch point down here is, I believe, something that's going to help this pan be more, I don't want to say like newbie or like novice, but people that just don't have the finesse with a pan. Because, be honest, I mean, when you do panning, when it's full, it's not that bad. But as it works down and you got a little more finesse, not everybody has that skill set. So I'm trying to take that away by naturally putting angles on here that'll do the work for you, even though you're just doing one motion. No swirling. All you do is shake side to side. And as you see, this is the final version. Again, smaller to size. I'm doing this right now. It's basically just a little block. I just was actually testing it, and it is working pretty good. So, because I don't want the water to go out before the material, and I found without that, a lot of the water is leaving, and then it's pulling the material. So to maximize as much of the water in here as you can, basically adjustable sliding door. I mean, if I figure that a certain height is perfect, then I don't need to have a second piece here. But again, I'm just showing you the process. This print isn't the best, older filament, so it didn't work as good. One thing I did on this one that I noticed, these riffles were too aggressive and it's holding too much sand. I know a lot of the pans do that. It holds material in, but it also holds so much extra material that you need out. So I went with a smaller riffles. But again, shaking first gets the gold down low, so you're not as likely to blow the gold out. So I'll show you this in action, and then you tell me what you think. I need a name. This one I called Paul's Perfect Pan. Version 2 was Paul's Pulse Pan. Basically, it's a fill, shake, drain pan, so I could do a FSD pan, pinch point pan. If you're good at coming up with names, I need a name for this. But let me set up in the water, and I'll just show you the action, and then I'll show you the progress we're making. Again, this is only Rev 3. I'm not at a final version, but I'm actually making progress, and I'm really confident that I can do this. I can make something that's very user-friendly to the newbie coming into the sport, or even the seasoned prospector. If I can make this as a speed pan, this is a game changer, because places in Vermont that only allow pans, now you can process speed material faster. Places in New Hampshire that allows equipment like my sluices, but in the White Mountains only allow a pan. So if I can make a better pan that can process more material faster, it's a win. That's another reason why I was eager to jump on this, because I can use this in my state too in certain areas. So let's set it up, and then I'll show you some more. I believe this is the gold from Vermont. It's got the heavy black sands in there. I don't remember how much gold is in there, but there is gold. So let's just see. And I'll pan it into that pan, and we'll see what the loss is. Which I don't think there's going to be any, but gotta be honest and we gotta learn. So again, shake. I should go this way. Get the heavies out quick. Shake, should be getting that gold right to the bottom on the black sands, garnet. Alright, I'm just going to say that's good. Shake, get that gold down there, fill it up, and pour it out. Make sure I'm missing the pan. I am actually seeing some gold right in that little bottom square right there. This stuff was small. I'm just seeing a few pieces. So at least I know that something's in here. So let me pan that real quick and see. Alright. See if you do a quick reveal. And there's nothing. Nothing got out. So let's see what's in the pan. Actually, I want to see what's in the mat first. Just curious how much is making it up to the mat. Look at the cons, it's like nothing. Can't tell if it's in there, it's small. Really seeing anything. Didn't bring any eye loops. All right, let's see what's in the pan. Check it out. So my point is right. It's all about the pinch point holding all the gold. Check it out. All the gold was down at the bottom at the pinch point, not even in the mat. There's only some micro specks in the mat from at least what I could see. Very good result. I like what I'm seeing. So let's wrap this up. So what you think? Pretty good results, huh? I'm actually really happy with that. Obviously it needs way more testing, more material through it. I got a couple tweaks. One thing I want to do, I did this in a short a long time ago, just show it, you know, when you get heavy black sands, which hopefully these are, I don't know if they're magnetic, but basically you take a washer. I got a rare earth magnet that's pretty strong. I don't know. Get it to stick. Now that's at the bottom. I've done this before. You can do like 4 or 5 speed pans and it keeps all the black sand right here. And it's easier to get the gold out and then go back after and check the black sands. But to date, I have never found gold stuck with the black sands. But there's always that chance. But all you do is when you're swishing around, look at that. Black sand sticks right to it. And then if you were to pull that magnet off, the whole thing comes free and you can pan it out. So what I was thinking on doing, this one will probably show it a little better, is this little step down here. It's kind of a lip to catch. What I'm thinking on is taking some type of magnet like that, make a little pocket in the back and have that clip in there. So now when you're shaking and stuff, the magnets will stick right here. or I mean the black sands will stick there, and then you don't have to deal with them, which will make speed panning even faster. I'll just have to come up with some creative way to have magnets be able to pop on there and then easily pull off. But yeah, that's it. That's I got a few tweaks I want to do, but I'm liking it. It's getting there. And like I said, this angle, if you're designing any piece of classifying equipment, put angles in it. This is all started with actually it started with this. I designed this for my glow box. I couldn't use a regular sluice to test the tailings coming out of the pipe, so I invented a little Y or X sluice. And what I've learned is the width here actually acts as a classifier. Big material sticks up here and lets a little stuff go underneath. And it worked amazing. And then I carried it on to this. And it worked incredible. That little bit of angle is enough to classify the material like super fast if you ever watch this in action. So I'm just carrying that over to the pan, and it's proving my point. When you have black sand that's heavy, and even though gold's heavier, side by side, they're just going to keep bouncing. There's no winner, as we all know, and it's a pain to get that black sand out. But now you create an environment where gravity is fully used, gold's always going to win. So like I said, if you're inexperienced, shake the hell out of this. Actually, the more you shake this, the better it's going to do, and it's going to get the gold down fast. All the heavies are going to stay on top, and you can be aggressive probably to about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch, and then you got to start slowing down and be a little more, use a little more finesse. But again, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is there a market for this? If you're interested, let me, comment. If you got a name for it, you can put that below. At the moment, we don't know how far we're going to go with it. It really depends how good it works. Worst case scenario, I have a custom pan that no one else in the world has, and so does Paul, and so will my friends. So, because this isn't something I want to 3D print. It takes too long. It's not cost effective. And actually, talking about 3D printing too, I know a lot of people hate it. I get the feedback. I get it too. Anything plastic's going to break, and then 3D printing's a little weaker than injection molding, so that has even more of a chance to break. If you have a printer and you can just make another one, no big deal. But if you're buying something online and you buy it and break it, now you got to rebuy it. I totally get that. So one thing I'm going to start working on, just as a little side note, this is actually printed out of solid rubber. This is what they call TPU. I can literally drive my truck over this and it won't even affect it, and I can use it. That will outlive me. This stuff is incredibly durable, but it's not a fun filament to print, and it's very slow. Actually, you can see I had a little issues with that, but I've actually been able to fool around with the settings to get this stuff to print 3 times faster than normal settings, and I designed my stuff to make it so it prints very well. So in the future, once I finalize some of these designs and I can get them printed out of the rubber, the TPU, and if you see these for sale on my website, I will offer a lifetime guarantee. You break this, first of all, I want to know how the hell you did it, because that's pretty impressive. But then other than that, I will ship you a new one for free. Again, to get over that fear of 3D printing, if I'm going to start designing stuff for now, it's going to be out of rubber. I'm getting better at the settings and the design so I can do it. And then you'll never have to worry about breaking anything. I mean, just to show you that I'm not just pulling my leg. Do that with plastic. That'll be the last time you use it. So just keep that in mind. I will have some videos coming out. Since I got a 9-inch gold gambler now, I want to compare it to the 6-inch. The 6-inch is actually a foot longer, but surface-wise, square inch, they're almost identical. So I really want to see, is a narrow 6-inch sluice better than a 9, or is the 9 the better way to go? I know the 6-inch uses less water, so that's already a win. But as far as catching gold, I want to compare those two. And I also have a new leg setup that I had to put on this that's not 3D printed. I printed the bushing, but it's basically electrical conduit I'm using for mounts for the legs. This is a bifold, so it already had holes in it. And I was able to lock them on using little finger tabs that lock it to the angle. You'll be seeing more on that. So just stay tuned. It's summer. I get so many other things to do than prospecting. So I can't always put a video out, but I'm going to try to at least get some content out here and there. So just stay tuned for that. If you like what you're seeing, definitely comment below, because your feedback is needed. I have a vision, but somebody might have a better way to get there. So, and I'm always open to it. I'm not one of those people that won't listen to anyone. It's, you know, it's a community effort. That's the way I look at it. So I will see you on the next video, hopefully sometime soon. Maybe just shorts if I can't get a full-length video in. But yeah, the future's looking exciting. Like I said, I know a lot of people hate 3D printing, but man, you cannot beat the rapid prototyping. If I had to do this paying for molds to be made, I'd go bankrupt. But for pennies on the dollar, I can print out versions overnight and test them the next day and just keep getting better and better. Then invest in one-time molds for injection molding and a one-time patent without wasting any extra money. So you can't avoid 3D printing. It's coming. You don't have to go 100% in, but give me at least 10% and just follow along and watch the journey. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care.